All right, showing that we're live. All right, cool. And we are. Let me put this in Discord real quick. And let me share that. But thank you guys for being here. 18 of you guys here. Questions already in the chat. I want to start off with a couple things. I don't like how my hair looks here. I'm going to start off with a couple things that I want to focus on. First off, related to rain, related to weather. No, we're just going to have to see. I don't think we can really spend a lot of time debating if it's going to rain, if it's not going to rain. If it does rain, you certainly have to look at guys who performed worse yesterday in the practice just due to the fact that it's so hot. I don't think we're going to necessarily see guys take gigantic strides in any direction if it's cooler. Like you can look at people like Keselowski who will most likely perform better if it's colder. You can probably bump Tricks up a little bit. Same thing with I'd probably do the same thing with Blaney. But in terms of there being like certain guys that just elevate way above the field, if it's a night race, I don't think it's as black and white as that. Secondly, I really do think we're not building a line today. We're not building lines today with 6 drivers. We're not building a line today with 4 drivers. I would argue we're not even building a line with 2 drivers. I think there's very much clear plays today that you really can't afford to get away from unless you're actively, hoping that they wreck. And to start off with that, it's disappointing, but I don't see J.J. Yaley being viable when you look at the people around him in terms of price range and in terms of the gigantic discrepancy that the 4K range and the 5K range have. I don't think it's viable, even if Haley scores, 14, 15 points. And at that point, the race is getting so wild that we're going to see other place differential plays hold a higher candle to him. But I think Todd Gilliland's a lock. I don't really see a reason to not play Todd Gilliland today. I don't understand. I haven't watched anything else. I don't think I will. But Todd Gilliland is just by far a fantastic play. We've seen it time and time again this year. When we look at optimals, and the 5K range is really just defaulting to somebody in that range as being optimal, just due to the fact that we have to fit in as many lap leaders as possible in most lines. I don't see a reason why Todd Gilliland, doesn't finish 25th today, doesn't finish 24th today, or somewhere around there and hit right near or just above 5x. I think Todd Gilliland is you pretty much have to play Todd Gilliland today. When we look at the 2 other guys that I think you can't really get away from, it's kind of answering your question up here. ASC entering this weekend, I expected to be high on Joe Gibbs Racing. I expect them to be there. The lap time from Larson is interesting to see, but I really do think Joe Gibbs is bringing a fantastic car. And if Kyle Busch would have qualified, we would be arguing, hey, do we play Kyle Busch over Kyle Larson? How big of a gap is there between Kyle Busch and the rest of the field? I think Kyle Busch is probably the best car today. I would not be shocked if this is a identical replay of what happened at Vegas, to where he had the best car. We were going to end up playing him, before the wreck. He comes back out, and that team is just Joe Gibbs in general is so on fire. Due to him starting the back, I think that qualifies Kyle Busch as the chalk of all chalks. And if you fade him, you're looking for him to wreck. And that's really the situation we're in, because I fully believe Kyle Busch gets up there. I don't view Kyle Busch as a place differential play. I view him as a lap leader. I view him as a contender to win this race. And in that situation, I think you just have to lock in Kyle Busch. And so at that point, I see Gilliland being the bottom of the barrel play that's going to work most times, especially when you look at the other guys he's competing against. Yes, we'll see what McDowell does. I'm giving McDowell 17 today, but I don't see, like Ty Dillon's not going to outscore Todd Gilliland unless Gilliland runs into issues. We're not going to see Harrison Burton outscore Todd Gilliland. We're not seeing Corey LaJoie outscore Todd Gilliland today. And so it's Todd Gilliland, because he's going to outscore the people in the 5K range, and he's going to have such a big gap of 10 or more points on the guys in the 4K range to where it's going all the way. And so those are your first two guys to look at. Past that, early lap leaders, I like Hamlin. I've said it before. I've said it again. I think he's had one of the best cars this entire year. The Coca-Cola 600 was a disappointment. And for all intents and purposes, he didn't even win that race. He didn't deserve to win that race. That was a miss. It's certainly a situation where he should have performed way better. However, here in this race, we've seen the advantage that the leader has. I don't see Joey Logano contending with Hamlin right off the bat. If anything, it's going to be Larson. But I got to believe that Hamlin is going to probably start in the outside lane. Even if he starts in the bottom, it's going to be fine. I see him still pulling away from the field on the start, but I don't think Larson is going to have the speed to get by Hamlin right now. I think Hamlin pulls away. I think he leads the majority of the race. And so at that point, and that's not saying Larson isn't in play, but the way I'm viewing this race, you have Hamlin, you have Kyle Busch, and you have Todd Gilliland as your guys who most of the time they're going to work out today. They're going to be optimal. And so it goes back to, we're not building a line with 6 drivers today. We're not building a line with 5. We're not building a line with 4. We're really building a line with 3. And so right now, due to that and due to the fact that I don't think I can outpace guys who are going to be entering more lines than I am 100% on Hamlin, Gilliland, and Kyle Busch. And depending on where you go with your lines, and this is a situation where if you watch the races with friends, if you watch the races with family, hell, even if you're at like a bar or even if you're at the race, I say this in a joking manner because it's going to piss people off no matter where you're at. And so today is a situation to where Bubba Wallace is in a situation to where he's going to perform well. It's up to Bubba Wallace. Look, if he gets emotional, if he wrecks, if he makes a mistake, that's on him. But yesterday in qualifying is a perfect example of what I like to say to people on Discord and stuff. And look, I don't hate Bubba Wallace, but it's so funny to make jokes about him. And so my joke, anytime Wallace runs to an issue, anytime Bowman runs to an issue, anytime somebody runs to an issue that is not a top tier driver, just say out loud, imagine being a Bubba Wallace fan. That's all that was going through my mind when we saw Wallace completely shit the bed in qualifying. By far the best car Wallace has ever driven. And this is not some short practice. This is not some short 20 minutes where Bubba Wallace was at the top of the charts for a lap, and we ran to yellows, and he backdoored his way into a top car. He has the second best car today. He absolutely choked. And so today, if and when Wallace makes a mistake, and you have 60, 50, 70% of Bubba Wallace just be like, man, imagine being a Bubba Wallace fan. Because it is all on Bubba today. If he wants to make a mistake, if he wants to not work out, it's going to be on him. And so I would honestly argue that those are your 4 guys that are absolute gigantic chalk plays, and they're hard to fade. If you're fading them, you are willingly choosing to fade guys who are at the top of the charts of where these guys are. Kyle Busch was 3rd best yesterday. Bubba Wallace was 2nd best. Hamlin is a top 10 car starting first, greatly outpacing the guys around him. I think it's those 4 cars that you have to really decide who else you're using there. So now that we've talked about those 4 drivers, let's actually get into some of, and I'll answer your questions in a bit because I am going through. But at that point, if you take 3 of those guys, if you take those 4 guys, who are you playing? Who else are you fitting in your lines? Who else are you building lines around? I think guys that you should try and prioritize once you decide what you want to do with those guys, in this order, would probably be Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Martin Truex, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones. I think those are the guys that you should prioritize to fit in and build with those last 2 remaining spots. I think that's really the pool, man. Like, yes, you can have a situation where Almirola, returns on value. Same thing with Blaney. Same thing with I already said Larson. Same thing with Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and this is a long race, a lot of laps out there. But do I think Larson runs away with this race? I don't think so. I think Chastain has a really good car today, and this is really a race to where you're really covering bases. It's not necessarily you love one guy over the other. I told you the 3 guys that I like. I think you should play. I think past that, it's choosing who else to use and fit in the lines. And so I think this is very much a race that's built to build a lot of lines for. But I can't make certain stands off of the guys that I think have a high likelihood of being optimal. So let's go ahead and go through here. Matthew, let me see. There's a lot of letters here. I'd probably go Ross Chastain, Keselowski, and Gillen, just because I like Gillen, and I like Ross, and I'm worried about Haley not getting value. I have Haley today projected for where are we at? Where's my man? I got Haley today for 31 points. And this is another thing very similar to the Xfinity race yesterday. Towards the end of the second stage, the Allgaier lines weren't killing the field. They weren't pulling away. Yes, Allgaier was optimal. Yes, he was scoring very well. But when you looked at the builds and how people built it, if you didn't play Allgaier, you still had a very good chance of cashing if you chased place differential, because there were so many people. It was Allgaier by himself and then just a ton of people scoring in the 50s. It's going to be and a ton of guys in the 40s. It's going to be extremely close like that today. Like, you're going to have probably your top 2 or 3 lap leaders, and then just a ton of people scoring very similar to one another. And so the reason I'm not on Justin Haley, and the reason I would be hesitant to play him, is because I don't think he can elevate past that barrier of like the high 30s that I think we're going to see a lot of people in, like Eric Jones, like Cindric, like Ross Chastain, even people like Bubba Wallace, Keselowski. There's going to be a ton of people in the high 30s pushing nearly 40 points, whereas I think Haley is going to probably be around 31, 33, maybe 35 points. And I don't know if that gets in, especially when you have Todd Gilliland most likely scoring around 30 points himself. I don't necessarily like the Haley play there. Nothing much. Happy to have you here, George. Happy to have you here, Big. Let's see. I have LaJoy currently finishing 24th. If you give him, 22nd, he's just finishing with his 20 points. LaJoy's going to have to blow the field away. And if you don't like Todd Gilliland, I would probably go Dylan over LaJoy. I'm not a big fan of LaJoy today, and I don't like Burton either. But that's just where I'm at. I'd much rather just go 100% on Gilliland and focus on other things there. I don't think so, man. I really don't. I don't know. I've considered that today. I have considered it, but maybe 3 maxing, because I like the 4 guys I mentioned, and I would just rather I'm basically just playing the same line, just with 2 different plays on each one, and so that's where I'm at there. In terms of Jeremy, in terms of these 2 guys, I'm not playing them. I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of lines, just because I don't think I can cover enough bases. I'm going to tell you right now, I have Daniel Suarez for 41.8 points. I have Eric Almirola for 38.7 points. Just to keep him in the pool. I don't think Suarez leads or wins this race. I think Eric Almirola has a better chance of outscoring him and being a better value play than Suarez. But I am on. I think it is very much a coin flip, but I would just rather not flip that coin. Where are we at? BVP. Thank you yet again for the support. I will get to that right soon. I just saw that actually went through. Let me see. No, thank you, Sterling. I appreciate you answering that for him. Yes, I think Byron is very much in play. If I was to make one more line, I would build it around Byron. The guys that I've built around specifically in each line was Bell, Truex, and Byron just missed that. I think Byron has a really, really good chance of showing up, being a top 5 contender, and winning this race. That's why I don't have a gut feel about anybody outside of Hamlin and Kyle Busch on DraftKings, like points wise, because outside of them, Chastain, Bell, Truex, Byron, even Elliott and Larson, those 5 guys can easily work their way into lead, and Reddick, those 6 guys can easily work their way into leading, being a top 5 driver at some point in this race. I think Byron is a really, really good play today. I At that point, it's not necessarily is he a good play. It's who is he competing around and how do they score around him? Does Chastain outscore Byron? Does Byron outscore Chastain? Compare that with Bell. What do they do between those 2 guys? But I think Byron is a really, really good play today, and I think he is going to be he's going to probably run top 6 today for sure. It just, and also kind of going back to what ASC put at the top, we have seen the fastest cars run away from this field. So it then goes to pit road to getting somebody out of the lead, and Byron certainly fits that. Truex certainly fits that. Bell certainly fits that. Those would be the 3 guys I would target based on getting the lead at some point in this race on pit road. Jeremy, happy to have you here. I don't think we're yep. Briscoe or Jones? Yet again, same thing with Briscoe. This is a situation where Briscoe completely just shit the bed when he downshifted, slid up the track, and absolutely, ruined his Q lap with him starting 28th. I have Chase Briscoe outscoring Eric Jones by quite a lot, but their prices are different. It's easier to get Jones in your lines, and so do you make kind of going back, if the optimal turns into a one dominator type of race to where one dude really does run away with it, and then Kyle Busch most likely gets in on his place differential and finishing in the top 5, then I think it defaults to people like Bubba Wallace getting in, people like Chase Briscoe getting in, people like William Byron getting in. And so if you think this race has 1 or 2 lap leaders, I think that really elevates Briscoe over Jones. I like them all, man. This is a race that's really tough to build with, and that's why I kind of open up with my stance of really playing those 4 guys that I like, and then covering your bases after that. And I have Briscoe in a line. I have a Briscoe line based on that, on him outscoring people like Bell or Truex, and people like Blaney, Suarez, and other people around there. But yeah, thank you yet again. 6th or 7th consecutive week of supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it, BVP. Like, yet again, I can't think of a better advertisement than people just consistently donating and supporting the work, supporting the channel, and everything like that. I don't really have 5 main drivers, but I did mention the 4 guys that I'm looking at here. I like, and so at this point, this is why I'm like, I can't. There's no way I'm gonna end up. This is a situation where, man, if I made 12 lines, I think maybe 7 of them cash. They're all going to be really close, and I don't know if I can necessarily get the return on value. But once you build, a Larson, Elliott, Bell, Truex, Byron, Reddick line, okay, who's next to get in? Well, then that's Alex Bowman. I have them both getting 5x, Bowman and Byron. I don't know if Bowman wins this race. That's the main concern. Once we're at that point and we're looking at how Bowman ran, I think Bowman is a guy that I would elevate probably in a night race, just due to the fact that I think he can move up from 13th best car to around an 8th, 7th best car. Bowman would actually be a guy that I would probably consider being more on if the practice data doesn't necessarily matter. But even then, like, I'm not playing AJ Allmendinger. I don't think he's viable today. Blaney is the guy that, like, right now I don't like. I would probably elevate him if the race gets delayed. And I don't know what happens I don't know what I'm going to do if the race gets delayed till tomorrow. But I'm probably not going to play Bowman today. But if you're building a lot of those lines, I think he's a guy that you should consider. It's just hard to, like, favorite him over Chastain or Byron. Even Briscoe or Reddick. Bowman really is like a fourth or fifth or sixth priority once you build your main lines. What's up with the Cindric love here? Yeah, the 27th best car in practice. I don't see that at all, man. I don't see Cindric at all. I think he's a horrible play. I think Cindric is a terrible play. Kind of the guys I'm talking about. Eagles, Chastain, Bell, Truex, Byron, Larson, Elliott. I hate just throwing all the names out there, but that's really what it is. I love Hamlin and I love Kyle Busch so much, and I think Hamlin really does run away with the first part of this race, or at least the first stage. And at that point, we're just going to see what happens. But Hamlin has had a stupid fast car multiple times this year, and it just hasn't panned out for him. I love that everybody, on Twitter was like, "Oh, is this Truex's week?" When just last week everybody, wanted to throw him under the bus for wanting to retire and stuff. I would not play. I think Briscoe really brings the lineups down. When we look at the lines built, let me look. I can probably answer this in a line of construction way versus just me being sour towards Cindric this evening. When you come on, let's load. All right. Well, while that loads, I'll come back to the Sterling. Yep. I really hope your child gets cancer, Hunter. That is very not funny after yesterday, and the poor guy from the UK who I just absolutely crucified. So what is this? This is Briscoe and Cindric. Briscoe's 81. Cindric, what is that? 79. I mean, that you're hurting yourself so much. Like, if you get Kyle and Hamlin in that line, you're left with $6,400. If you go Gillen, leaves you 77. I don't like Suarez. I don't like Eric Almirola. I think Eric Jones is fine, but I think Cindric brings that line down, because the guys who are cheaper that can outscore and very much compete with Cindric are Jones, Stenhouse, Wallace, Keselowski, even Chase, or even Busher to an extent. Like, I just don't like Cindric. That's just where I'm at. Let's see. I don't think he's low owned. I don't think he's over owned. I think Brad will be exactly what he should be. This was, and the broadcast talked about it, Twitter talked about it, even Keselowski talked about it. This was the worst that Keselowski has ever felt at a racetrack, and it was not a good day for practice at all for Keselowski. I'm expecting to see some sort of improvement, if he gains 2 or 3 positions, but that's why I like Keselowski more if the race moves to an evening race, because whatever they're running right now with Keselowski's car is certainly going to, it's certainly one of the worst cars that he ever had. We're gonna have to see. I'm not. I would not play Harvick as well, and like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I've talked about the guys that I like. I've talked about it in extent. I haven't mentioned Harvick at once. I got Harvick for 38.5 points. In order for Harvick to work out today, he needs the lead laps. Is that a realistic chance? Well, he's gonna have to beat Hamlin. Okay, might be able to do that. Gonna have to beat Chastain. Okay, a little bit more difficult, but maybe he can do that. Then he has to beat Byron. Then Truex pit road speed, Elliott pit road speed, Larson, like, just he has to do so many things. I don't see it happening. I've only said Gillen about 600 times. In terms of lead lap finishes, that's a really, really good question. If it goes green, we might be around 17 to 10 on the lead lap today. And that's going to punish some guys, and I think that mainly punishes here. I'll talk about guys that I would really be concerned about going a lap down today at some point. Probably start from the top. It would be Harvick, Almirola, AJ for sure, Chris Buescher, Custer, McDowell. We haven't even mentioned Kurt Busch either. I think Kurt Busch is a really, really good play as well, but you have to build around Kurt Busch. Like, if you guys are considering, playing, that shitty Cindric play, I think you should really play Kurt Busch and get the money to go to him if you want to get different. I think Kurt Busch has a really good chance of showing up. And yet again, it just depends on what 2311 can bring. But they clearly have good cars. It'll be up to what Bubba and Kurt Busch and the crew can do today. So, and yet again, man, when Bubba Wallace's crew lets him down, just be like, man, imagine being a Bubba Wallace fan. That's how I look at it. I have no idea what you're looking at, Chris. That is fake news. That is bad info. That is a terrible, terrible take from somebody who clearly is just talking off of the broadcast and stuff. Truex has had a tremendous year on pit road. One of the best cars on pit road, one of the best cars to lead laps. Hello. We literally just talked about it for Gateway that, hey, Truex has been absolutely dummy thick fast on pit road. With the pit selections that Truex has, I would not be shocked if he leads laps at Gateway. What happened? Truex has had pretty much the fourth best pit crew this entire year. I don't know where you're getting that from. That's a terrible take, and I'm not just absolutely trying to shit on you, but I don't want that to influence other people because Truex is absolutely a right now ranked top 4, but race in, race out a top 6 crew on pit lane, especially with where they have their pit selection. Truex crew has not fucked him at all this year. I have no idea where you're getting that from. Bubba Wallace, man, like I said, there's certain weeks that define Bubba Wallace. When is Bubba Wallace going to get his first win? Is he going to actually, be successful in Bubba? I don't know when that actually happens. Like, I don't know when Bubba Wallace gets his first win. I think this is his best chance to do it. It's all on Bubba, man. Does he put the pressure on himself? Does he start to crack? If he doesn't get a good restart, does he push too hard? The man has a top 5 car today. It is all on Bubba Wallace. Let's see if Bubba Wallace can get his first win today. And I don't think he goes lap down based on speed alone. He has the speed to stay in the lead lap. But that's where we're at. What do you mean on a new track? We've already been 80. Come on, man. You're way smarter than that to tweet that. With BJ, they had mechanical issues yesterday in practice, so they didn't even get a lap led. I was unaware, or I mean, really, it was just a bad take. I thought he would run that car way harder than he did. He literally just kept the car safe yesterday. He still finished with 20 points, but undervalued, and it just didn't work there yesterday. So I don't like BJ there. I don't think he has the speed. They're going to be learning, and he should be the first one to go a laps down there. Okay, what are we talking about here? Like, did you guys not cash like yesterday? Like we all had a good day. Like what are we? Was Herbst optimal? Like what is going on? I I don't remember Herbst being optimales, but we can take a gander and look. I don't know. This is the main issue. Like that's why I don't fucking do victory laps because you guys. That's the truck race. My bad. I'm on the truck. I'm on the truck results. Where are the Xfinity results? Where's yesterday's Xfinity race? Where are we at for Xfinity? Like a lot of guys made 5. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, wow. Ryan Vargas got a fucking top 15. I have no clue what the point of this is. I told you. I mean, each and every week we can, each and every race, every single sport, we can be like, I told you so. I didn't tell you so. That's why I do my best to voice when I'm wrong, and I very rarely voice, just straight up, I was right about this guy, I was right about that, because I'd rather look at where I was wrong than where we were right. I mean, there's so many people who made 5x yesterday. Uh, I don't know what the point of this is, Ryan. What are you gonna do? Ask me for my DraftKings thing? Let's do, bro. 1v1 me, bro. Let's do a $50 head-to-head to see who the real guy is. Let's do that. So I have no idea what that point was. It would be. It's just Todd Gillen so much. I like Todd Gillen. He's starting in the back. He should look. A bad day from Gillen is 26th. A good day from Gillen is 25th. His ceiling and floor is so close to each other. Like he's passing all the no names behind, the no name markers behind him clearly. But he's going to be outscoring other guys in the 5K range. If he hits the wall, that's just how it is. But I like Gillen. I like the lines you can do. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to worry about Gillen because he is such a high chance of being optimal today based on how lineups have performed this year when it's 1 lap leader, 2 lap leaders, whatever the case is. I think Gillen is by far the play that we should look at. Yeah, thank you, ASC. I have no idea what I I have no clue why we're focusing on Riley Herbst. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, dude? What a gigantic waste of time. I mean, hell, I could start fucking stroking myself on here, guys. I played Ty Gibbs, Trevor Bain, Sam Mayer, Ryan Priest, Kyle Sieg, McLeod yesterday. I didn't even have Allgaier, and I cashed. I like not UASC, but I don't know what we're talking about, Ryan. I have no idea. I've cashed in it. I haven't lost money this weekend. Like what? I have no idea. Like I don't know. See, I'm in such a cranky mood this week. It's making for really really bad content. I'm so cranky. Um, I love that the race. I mean that was legit hilarious yesterday with the dude from the UK coming in. But yeah, I think the approach is very similar. There's just certain plays that are going to work today, and I think those are Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and Gillen, and you choose where to go from there. You choose where to build from there. And at that point, I really do believe we're all trying to pick the second and third type of lap leader if we're building that way. So that's kind of where we're at. Ryan Blaney. I mean, it took me a while to even get to, Kurt Busch and Bowman. I haven't even mentioned Ryan Blaney yet. The only way I mentioned him is maybe I would lean him more if the race starts really, really late today or tomorrow. But still, he's not in there for me. McDowell, I've been so wrong about McDowell every single week. It really infuriates me. I'm giving him 17 today, man. Like, I just can't with goodwill just keep. I can't project the guy for like 13th or something. Like I'm giving him 17th today. Give him a few more positions, he'll score around 33 points, but it's low 30s. We're trying to get like Gillen should be if it plays out the way it will. If it plays out the way I think the optimal may play out, if Gillen's optimal, He's probably optimal at 26 points. He's very much optimal at 30 points. And I think at that point, he's the only driver in the line scoring 30 points. And I think that is really how you should look at your line today, is try and make your line have only one guy that you project in the 30s, and everybody else needs to project higher than probably 40 to be optimal. And so if you're playing McDowell, you're either playing him because you don't want to play another value play, and if you're playing him and another value play together, I think that really hinders how well your line can score with him also scoring like, high 20s and low to mid 30s. I think that kind of hurts there. And thank you, Eagles. And I appreciate this. Yeah, Ken, going back. BVP, thank you for the $20 donation and support earlier. I think that's where it's at. This is very much I hate not taking stands, but man, this is rough. Bell and Byron, I think this is a fantastic question. Based on projections for me, it would go to William Byron. Based on point per dollar wise, I like Christopher Bell. I like Christopher Bell because I don't think he's going to be as owned as other people. The pit road selection is very much a mute point for these two guys because they both have the advantage that we would all want. I gave them both the bump for that based on their pit road selection. I would probably go Bell based on pricing. I like Bell based on pricing. Higher upside to win the race, I'd probably give it to Byron. So maybe that's helping you look at these two guys, but I like them both. I'm very much a fan of both Byron and Bell today. It's very hard to choose between those guys. I got Chase Elliott for 18 laps led, 22 fast laps today. I don't think that's a crazy projection. I just like other guys more than Elliott there. Oh, it's Hamlin by far. I don't think it's a consideration there. Hunter, really? What a take here. Hey, can we everybody type in chat, somebody who's lost a close family member to cancer. I like, what are these takes, man? You guys know how I am. I don't understand like what this. I understand the stay classy. Some of you guys might not like my humor. I understand that, but stay classy because your mother died of cancer. Okay, man. Like, I don't know, man. My parents are gonna die. Everybody's gonna what? What? What, dude? What? Come on now. Come on. I don't know. If it makes you feel any better, I send money to St. Jude's is for child cancer, but I donate money to cancer research. I don't send prayers. Does that help at all, Hunter? I don't know. I've lost very close family members to cancer. I have no idea what that's supposed to be on. Listen, because you asked, 2 months. 2 months is the minimum. I don't understand why you need 2 months to decide if you want the kid or not. And so for me, I would absolutely just give you 2 months. And in general, when you look at it that way, it gives you 11 months to decide if you want the kid or not. I think 2 months post birth to decide if you want the kid, if you want to kill the kid in the tub, that's how I look at abortion. 2 months post birth is where I would draw the line if you don't want the kid. If you want to abort the kid, post birth, that's where we're at. This right, yeah, man. My mom had to put her horse. It's been a rough time. She had a horse, nearly 30 years, very, very old horse. We had to put her down a while back. And then she just lost another horse to just an absolute crazy event with internal bleeding with the horse when she had her boarded at a trainer. I mean, that was really, really rough. That was going to be a good horse too. I think that horse was probably like 5-6 years old, but she had just bought that horse not too long ago. That was going to be a really, really good horse. I felt so bad for that. The show is coming off the rail. I mean, like we know the takes everybody's taking, man. Hell yeah, my fellow Canadian over here. I don't know why I said fellow. I'm not Canadian, but the Flyer. Brandon, I'm happy to have you here. Yeah, what a time. I mean, it really has. But I think this also shows that, look, we all kind of have an indication of where to go to start building lineups, and then we all kind of know that we kind of have to just fill in lines and even build enough lines to cover enough bases here for this race. In terms of taking stands outside of Hamlin and Kyle Busch, it really is very difficult today. And so, that's kind of why we're here at this point. 76 you guys still here, so clearly you guys don't hate the show. We've got a lot of likes, and I'm very happy with that. But this is very, very funny, Sterling. Kind of going back to the abortion thing, I'm very disappointed we did not get to hear DiBenetteto's take on abortion. Remember that he was censored. He's in the Truck Series to voice his views, and I haven't heard one political view from Matt DiBenedetto since last year. Like, come on, Matt, where you at, man? You promised the non-censorship of your opinion and stuff. I do not play baseball DFS. That's really the one sport that I don't. Well, I mean, I don't play tennis. I haven't. Now, see, I really sound like a boomer here. I loved DraftKings NFL. I loved DraftKings NHL on the old point system. I loved it. I have not been able to get the hang of the new points. I know it's been out for nearly 2 seasons right now. I suck at NHL DFS. I have tried with this new point system. I just cannot get it. I just can't. I love the old system way more. So because of that, I don't play NHL DFS anymore. Baseball DFS, I don't play as well because it's almost more like you got I mean, you have to choose teams to stack. Like, clearly you look through and you stack a team and stuff. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. I don't have the financial resources to just play every day and try and stack teams and try and land on that. And so I take a step away from MLB. I have played here and there. If I'm going to play MLB, it'll be on a small slate, and I'll listen to what Sheets and Bobby Fi have to say at True DFS. And that if you're playing MLB DFS, I would point you towards True DFS. Certainly with NBA as well. But I would point you towards True DFS for MLB if you wanna do that. Or if you're looking for MLB stuff. That's free too. Free videos nearly every day for MLB. Bobby's normally live around 5, and it'll probably be 6 Eastern. 5 my time, 6 Eastern time, always on the True DFS channel. I would look at True DFS for any of your baseball DFS stuff. What? I have no idea what this is. Sorry, Sterling. I didn't watch it. Yeah, what a time to join live. MLB on Fantasy Draft was the bit. I never played on Fantasy Draft. I just play on DraftKings. I'll do NASCAR DFS on. I'll do NASCAR and NFL DFS on FanDuel, but outside of that, I don't do much. I don't know. MLB and golf is interesting. I know I probably shouldn't, but I normally try and play more on the majors just because I do watch the majors at least watch third, especially if nothing's going on NASCAR wise. I'll tune it in and check it out. For that, yet again, I would look towards True DFS. Same thing with MMA. Sheets has been really killing it with the MMA and UFC videos. I am a Patreon member of Sal Vetri. So I look at his projections on UFC stuff. I know he makes projections for golf, but I haven't used those since I don't play golf enough. But that's where I'm at. I'll check it out last night, or I'll check it out after this. Sterling. Well, I'm probably only going to do 3 lines. However, Kyle Busch, I'd go 100% on if I was building more lines, because I think Kyle Busch is optimal today. Bubba, I would probably be, I'm trying to think of what I would do if I was doing 20 lines. I'd probably be 60, 65, 70% on Bubba. I would probably be really aggressive on Bubba today. And then absolutely just cry when Bubba inevitably just shows no talent. You know, he's like, who is his sponsor? He was like, Rotor. Because even in his practice interview, he was like, the people on, who is it, DoorDash? Who's on his fucking car today? Root. There we go. Root. He's like, Root has always gotten the short end of the stick. We just haven't ran well with Root, and maybe that'll put more pressure on. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Bubba Wallace. I would try and be over the field on Bubba Wallace today. And then, like I said, look, if he runs into an issue, don't tweet at me like, oh my God, Bubba wrecked, you suck. If you're going to tweet at me, just tweet, imagine being a Bubba Wallace fan. If he wrecks, if he does anything stupid at this point, I'm telling you, tweet it out and just see the political shitstorm that you just wander into on Twitter. Like, it's so funny. I didn't even know he had a show, man. I didn't know he had a show till yesterday. I can't tell how fake it was. Well, I don't know. I doubt I'll look at it. Yeah, I did too. See, we're way off the wall. Thank you guys very much for listening to me, and 70 guys of you still here now that we have officially gotten through the DFS talk. I watched the SRX race last night. I don't know why. What's his name? I just went blank on his name. The guy Stewart was mad at. Ernie Francis Jr., correct? Sure. He doesn't have the manpower. I don't know. Like, it was insane to see Stewart that pissed last night. It was like, that man had the 1,000-yard stare when Ribs was interviewing him out of the heat race, much less his frustration outside of the win. Like, Stewart was pissed, and I can't think of a more terrible person to make mad. Like, it's like just pushing the buttons on OJ. Why would I willingly make OJ Simpson mad at me? Like, are you stupid? Are you crazy? This man literally got away with murdering a small child, and you're gonna make him mad on a short track and tear his stuff up? I was more frustrated. I was more shocked that Michael Waltrip was that mad. Like, poor Mikey, in his 4th midlife crisis, just wants to have fun, and he's frustrated. Like, I can't believe the SRX last year was so wholesome and so nice, and then just tonight is just everybody was pissed at one another. It was, I think that will hurt the SRX. I don't think they can. I don't think that's what they need, and I think that's gonna at least. I would like it if the SRX was not just a wreck fest and getting mad each and every week, because I would really like the SRX to one day become what the IROC series was, and not take retired racers, but have more current racers in that. And I like to take the cars to bigger tracks and stuff. Yeah, man. Like, and I can't believe everybody got dumb, man. Everybody got so stupid last night. Next, I was watching, like, what is this? This is like iRacing hosted. There's like 12 cars on track, and everybody hates each other. Like, what are we doing here? I even felt bad for Paul Tracy. Like, he had nothing. Tracy didn't do anything wrong, man. The poor guy has literally gone out of his way to not race like an asshole this year or the season. He's just being murdered on track. It's insane. Yeah, yeah, man. Kevin Ward. That's what's so funny. And I've talked about it before. Kevin Ward had a small amount of marijuana in his system, and it was just thrown out. That's why, like, why are people concerned about Clint Bowyer? No shit is going to be thrown out. He ran over somebody on an interstate entry who was clearly out of her mind on drugs. You think he's going to have any like restitution or anything on there? If the worst Tony Stewart was settle out of court or settle in a civil case with Ward's parents, like Bowyer has nothing to worry about, you know. Let me see. Thank you for the support, and you donated yesterday. Thank you very much, MGM. But I am glad that you are a fan of the show and everything. Yeah, I don't know, man. The new and it's so that's why, like, if anybody who plays NHL DFS is listening, they're like, "What the hell? This ain't new. This has been the scoring system last 2 years." But I remember being in high school building NHL lines that would cash later in the day. Like, it just fit me so well. I didn't even watch. I mean, I do love hockey. I grew up loving Jonathan Quick and LA Kings and stuff. So I've watched hockey and stuff, and I enjoy watching it. But I could build lines with really no research. It was just based on volume of the old system, and maybe that's why they changed it. But I just cannot get the new NHL scoring, and it's at the point where I've tried enough, and I can't do it. So I just don't play NHL DFS anymore. I'm trying to block him, man. I'm trying to block the bots. I would argue, I would argue so. I think it's very much a Joe Gibbs priority, with Ross Chastain and Byron probably being secondary priorities in lines, and I'm just not on the Fords there. Like Busher McDowell combo, a Gillen Keselowski or Wallace combo. We got too many ors there, man. I would do whatever way you could get Gillen and Wallace into a line big, because I don't like the McDowell, and I think Busher is very much a very interesting tournament play. I don't know how likely it is to work out, but I think the McDowell really does bring that construction down. Let's see. I think I've about covered everything. I think that is where we're gonna end it there. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting me, supporting Pearce, supporting the work we do. Tune in to these videos each and every week. If you end up having a good day, or you want to feel like supporting the channel, you can either donate on a super chat on the next live stream. I have a PayPal link in the description below, and on Twitter if you feel like donating through that as well. And feel free to join the Patreon on the month of July when that rolls around. Who I got for an early lap leader, I would have it Hamlin. I would, and okay, I'll rank these real quick in terms of early lap leaders. I would rank it Hamlin, Chastain, William Byron. Those would be the guys I would project to lead in stage one without any necessarily help from the pit road crew and where they're out on pit roads. Thank you guys for listening, and I will check you guys out later in the week. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you for being here.